Bhairava Kalike Namostute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo Nama. Om Namo Bhairavaya Swaha. Jai Ma Kaali, Jai Ma Kaali, Jai Ma Kaali, Jai Ma Kaali. So we are back on yet another video. I did want to take a video today, but it got a little late and I thought I'll skip today's video. But a snake entered my house, and I generally get very excited when snakes enter because they're so close to the earth realms. You cannot find another being that is more close to the earthy realms. They go right into the any creature for that matter that is deep within earth. They are the greatest earth element, and I always get excited when snakes come. Of course, I don't play around with them, and they never harm anything. For example, I have all this hay grass that we keep for cows. I have it bunched up. My father gets so scared, so he went and bought a long stick with which he wants me to take the hay. I, on the other hand, neither do I use that stick to take the hay, nor do I wear a slipper, because if there is a snake that is going to bite me and because of that I am going to go, I think that is a pretty good way to go. Anyway, so since the snake came today, I thought that okay, I'll take that as a NIMITHA and put today's video. And the content of today's video is NIMITHA Kaali. How Kaali is not just an energy that sits idly and supports a lot of the functions of the Devaloka, how she is in fact the planner, the Nimitta itself, how she purposely causes events to happen by becoming the victim, the helpless victim, and also finishing it off. How throughout our any of our historical Deva incidents that we take, be it from the entire avatars of Mahavishnu itself, or for the creation of the Shakti Peethas itself, you will find that the Ma Kaali's design is everywhere. It is just that we don't sit and meditate on this, and because of that we do not realize the sheer volumes of effort this deity has put into bring in. Why she's so powerful? You need to understand that she is not one of the female divine feminine form. She is the first Rupa of Adi Shakti itself. So Adi Shakti in a specific form, it is Ma Kaali. And from where her stories have begun and from where her leelas are there, you will be astounded. She has been playing these roles before creation of many of the avatars itself. So we will touch upon this. Since the snake came, I take this as a nimitta, and I am putting this video today. So today we are going crazy about many of the Dasa Mahavidyas and Bhairava, and realizing a lot about why, as we enter and move into Kali Yuga, where the moon, the final part of the moon, the black part, and it is fully about Adi Shakti and Ma Kaali, and how we need to realize that she was also there throughout, before also, but she was always hidden. Everybody knew that she is within the deity itself, but we do not give her enough credit, nor do we realize her sheer volume of presence throughout the Devaloka's entire cosmic event. She was there. How? With proof. And how that also has an impact when you do Bhairava Sadhana or Ma Kaali Sadhana, how this part will play in your life also, how it correlates to your life, and why there are certain events that are happening in your life which is nothing but being caused by her. The more you pray to Ma Kaali, she will cause a certain event. She is the Nimitta Kaali. And what is Nimitta Kaali? We go into that today. We are all aware of the incident wherein Sadashiva, Maha Sadashiva, falls completely in love with Mata Sati, and why she was created. Just read on the story. She was created in order to elicit the energy, elicit the Shakti out of Shiva. That was her main purpose. That was the main purpose of Mata Sati itself. That is why she was there. What happens is that in any event which has to lead to a purposeful conclusion, when it comes to Ma Kaali or or any of the Adi Shakti related divine feminine forms to elicit Shakti out of Shiva, they will always project themselves as a victim in order to draw the Shakti. Be it a Mahavishnu avatar who will be doing the annihilation, or be it Shiva, Sadashiva himself, it will always be Adi Shakti who will trigger it. It is there throughout the history. Any of the cosmic episode you take, you will find her presence, a signature will be there. You cannot even debate this. Now we'll start with the first, then the most important thing, and this everybody is aware. The story of Mata Sati and how she immolates herself in the fire. Why did it happen? I believe it is the 211th name in the Sahasranamavali of Ma Kaali. The name is Sati. Sati is the name of Ma Kaali. So here she projects herself as the divine feminine, a form in and Sadashiva itself goes mad around this beautiful Rupa of Devi, and he is oblivious to the entire world. He who was sitting in a state of yogic trance for all the time, who had accumulated the great, he's the Adi Yogi, right? So he had accumulated within him the greatest Shakti, the greatest energy within him, but it doesn't move. There is nothing, there is no energy mass beyond him, but he doesn't move. He is the universe itself, but if he is not moving, how do we use him to create? How do we use him to destroy? This was a major problem faced in the Devaloka. Be it Brahmadeva or be it Mahavishnu, everybody faced this issue. It is in the closed plan, you can say, call it a plan between Brahma, between Mahavishnu and the Adishakti itself, that Mata Sati wins the heart of Mahasadashiva, and he goes head over heels in love with her. He frolics and goes after her. He becomes oblivious of his own yogic trance only for Mata Sati. And Mata Sati, the name Sati, is one of the names of Ma Kaali. So herein she has managed to twing onto Shiva and move him from his yogic trance and make him fall madly in love for the first time behind a feminine form. This is the key event which leads to the complete formation of so much of the yogic knowledge that we are today talking about so casually. That NIMITHA, that formation of Mata Sati and her triggering and bringing out Mahadeva from his deepest trance in the form of Sati, making him fall head over heels completely in love with Mahadeva, was a nimitta. She triggered. It's an event. Nimitta means something that is going to cause something huge, something that is going to cause a colossal event, something that is going to be the reason or the reason for which something big is about to happen, due to which something big is about to take place. Nimitta. And Nimitta Kaali is a term wherein she almost always will be the cause. She is the one who draws out, be it Mahavishnu or be it Shiva. It is the Adi Shakti who will draw them out and make them act. So if Sadashiva never moved, if he was unmoving, will any of us have any benefit of his energy? If he did not even let his energy out, how will any of us have any benefit of his energy? So what happens? She takes the form of Mata Sati and he comes out of his trance and they embroil themselves in one of the greatest love stories known to mankind. I don't think, because it is only for her that she moved out. He moved out of the trance. Otherwise, he would never come out of his yogic trance. So, what happens? There she triggers another event where Daksha, many times, like in the last episode, we spoke about Drupad going blind and wishing some of the greatest curses for Panchali and Ma Kaali. Draupadi Amman is Ma Kaali, taking that form in order to finish the purpose of Sri Krishna. Similarly, again, Daksha Prajapati, the father of Mata Sati, he goes mad. These are all very important lessons. Understand why this is also happening in your life. Understand that. There will be certain events which are triggered by her only in order to cause some bigger events. In your life also this is happening. So what happens? Daksha starts insulting Shiva. This is a known story. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this event. And Mata Sati, fully in rage, walks up to him, walks into his yagya in order to confront him. Sadashiva already knew, Mahadeva already knew something is going to go wrong here. And he wants to chase after her. But he is stopped by the Dasa Mahavidyas on all directions. And he goes into a trance. Whereas Mata Sati has already entered into the yagya, she has already started confronting her father, and finally in the honor of her husband, whom she is madly in love with, and who for the first time ever has actually opened his eyes towards the divine feminine form, is completely in love with Mata Sati. And what she does, she immolates herself. And what happens? Because of that, we now have Shiva spouting out of his third eye Veerabhadra and MAA Kaali. With the army of howling jackals, army of howling dogs. Veerabhadra is none other than Bhairava without the Guru Tattva. He is full of rage. He is the most ugra form of Shiva. They go, they destroy the yagya wherein Daksha's head is cut off and offered to MAA Kaali itself. So, one of the names of MAA Kaali is Sati. Agreed? There is also another name, Daksha Homa Vinashini. This is also one of the names of MAA Kaali, wherein she is the reason why Daksha insults his son-in-law, who is Mahadeva. She goes there and confronts and immolates herself, and then she goes and then destroys the yagya also. So what has happened? Who is the victim? If you say Mata Sati, and who is the one who destroyed the yagya? Who is the one who destroyed the yagya? It is MAA Kaali. Mata Sati is also her name. MAA Kaali is also her name. That means the cause and the effect are the same Adi Shakti. She has triggered herself as the victim in order to destroy the yagya, and post that, when Mahadeva dances with the corpse of Mata Sati, and Mahavishnu then comes up in order to save the creation itself, he sends his Sudarshan Chakras and cuts the body of Mata Sati into multiple pieces, which has lodged itself in various locations on earth and becomes a Shakti Pidhas. So who caused it? Mata Sati, who is the name of Adi Shakti, MAA Kaali. Who goes to destroy the Homa also, Yagya also? MAA Kaali. Both are same. And who comes again to preserve? Mahavishnu. In his core astral form, he comes to stop this very dangerous event from happening. Thereby, Adi Shakti has beautifully used Mahadeva and given the Shakti Pidhas. So who is the cause here? Even Mahavishnu also came to preserve only, but the event was started and ended by MAA Kaali. The Adi Shakti that sprouts out of Shiva's third eye, she is the cause and the end. And Mahavishnu, being the preserver, he came to preserve the world. And beautifully he does it. Thereby, the cause, the effect, and the Shakti Pidhas. She ends up giving the Shakti Pidhas, her own most powerful Shakti Pidhas. By sacrificing her own body, she has created this event. Nimittha. So she creates the Nimittha and she gets an effect out of it. She plants the seed by painting herself a victim and then gives the greatest boon. That is her design. Now you come to other avatars of Mahavishnu. We already spoke about Sri Krishna and his love for Radharani Ma. Let's go to the other avatars and what is the role of MAA Kaali or Adi Shakti in subsequent avatars of Mahavishnu. So the first one, Mahavishnu himself came in order to cut off the body of corpse of Mata Sati in order to give the Shakti Pidhas. First one done. Next one, you come to Parashurama. Probably one of the greatest core forms of Mahavishnu in his preserver avatara without having any smidge of feelings other than dharma is Parashurama. He is so full of dharma alone. Dharma karya is the only thing that is embedded into him. His core Vishnu Tattva is so high and I personally think that the biggest Vishnu Tattva you can ever find is Parashurama, Bhagwan Parashurama. Even in his story, if you go through, we all know that Kartavirya Arjun, when he, in his ego-fueled rage, he walks through the jungles and he comes into the ashrama of Parashurama, where his father was meditating, the rishi. And he steals a cow, all right, the ever-giving cow. This cow has the ability to give anything you ask. Such a powerful cow it is. Of course, the rishi, being a sincere rishi, he only used that cow and her powers for dharma karya. What was the name of this cow? Her name is Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu. And do you know, Kamadhenu is one of the names in the Sahasranama, only one of the earlier names. It comes in the first 10 itself. One of the most important names of Ma Kaali is Kamadhenu. Again, the cow that gets stolen from Parashurama's ashrama is Adi Shakti. She sat there and became a victim. Arey, I have been kidnapped. That is how she functions. She is always a nimittha. She places herself in such a way that she will cause the preservation. She will be the victim and she will bring the preserver Mahavishnu. That is why Adi Shakti and Mahavishnu always they'll function together, and she will be when he has come also as an avatara, she will keep on bringing him out through the preservation. So when Kamadhenu gets kidnapped, therein begins the war between Parashurama and the 1,000-handed king. And he destroys the king. Then they again come back. His sons come back and kill the rishi, father of Bhagavan Parashurama. And then what he does? Then he counts the number of cuts on his father's body, 21 cuts. He destroys the Kshatriya Vamshas 21 times. So we know this entire story, but what was the cause? It was the stealing of the cow, whose name is Kamadhenu, which is the name of the Adi Shakti's first form, Ma Kaali. Again, she is the nimitta, just like Mata Sati was the nimitta for pulling out Shiva's energy and giving it to us in terms of Shakti Pidha, for Parashurama to give the greatest lesson that the moment Mahavishnu's purpose itself was set in that avatara. That is the most important avatara wherein he begins to operate in the core dharma karya. If you say dharma karya alone, be Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, you need to understand that they have given a lot of other messages. To humankind itself. But Parashurama's only message is the moment power gets to your head and you begin to abuse power and become adharmic, therein I will come to destroy you. So the core Vishnu Tattva within Parashurama is the highest. Core Vishnu he is. He is full of preservation. He doesn't value anything else as much as he values preservation. He doesn't care for any leelas. He doesn't care for praise. He has no need for any kind of fanfare. He doesn't need his bhajans to be sang. He has only one purpose. He is a core Vishnu Tattva. Parashurama is a core Vishnu Tattva. He says, if there is a dharma, I will slay. Preservation only. There is no songs, there is no kingdoms, there is nothing. I will sit in a forest and the moment I see dharma going down, I will attack. Core preservation tattva within Parashurama is the highest among any Vishnu avatars. And who triggers it? The cow. The moment the cow got stolen, which is none other than Ma Kaali, Kamadhenu, Adi Shakti, therein triggers the greatest preserver God. Mahavishnu's greatest tattva, pure preservation, nothing else. Pure preservation. You cannot find any other leela from Parashurama. And he's also the greatest Guru. Is still around. Why is he still around? Because he is the biggest Vishnu tattva. There is absolutely nothing else other than preservation and knowledge of preservation, knowledge of dharma. Parashurama is the highest. When you come to dharma, preservation of dharma on the earthly realms, nobody comes close to Parashurama. Why are people even afraid to invoke him? He cuts his own mother's head off when she is judged as a adharmi. At the same time, when given a chance, he wishes for his mother and brothers to be brought back to life while ensuring that they did not remember anything about their death. This is Parashurama. Anybody who has the guts, I would say, to invoke Parashurama and get into sadhana of Parashurama, if you're able to combine Kala Bhairava sadhana with Parashurama, you will become the greatest piece of yogi that anybody can sustain. But the issue is that you will not be able to forgive your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, and for the mildest hint of adharma will trigger you to protest. This is 100% because Parashurama never had any other facet other than being the guru of dharma itself, being the guru of the greatest warfare, being the guru of how to destroy adharma. This is his main purpose. He is the core Vishnu Tattva, and he also was triggered by the Adi Shakti in the form of a cow. Therein began his journey. Beautiful it is. So if there was no kidnapping of the holy cow, Kamadhenu, he would have never attacked the Kshatriyas. So even his purpose at that moment, the Vishnu Tattva's purpose was triggered by the Adi Shakti. Again the Nimittha. That is what she is, the Nimittha. Then we come to Treta. Parashurama is also in the initial part of Treta. Towards the end we have Sri Rama. Just above the name of Mata Sati in the Sahasranamavali of Ma Kaali, that is 1008 names of Ma Kaali, you will find another name. It is Sita. Ma Sita is also none other than the Adi Shakti. And if you ask me, who was the most important character in Ramayana? Yes, it is Sri Rama. Yes, it is Lakshmana. It is Hanuman. But if there was no Ma Sita, there is no Ramayana. If it is a story of many happy kings living and going back to their kingdoms, where is the Ramayana itself? What is the message of Ramayana is gone without Ma Sita. So, when Sri Rama runs after the golden deer and he leaves Mata Sita alone, Adi Shakti realizes that if Lakshmana is there, Ramayana cannot happen. Ravana will not be able to take her because right now she is in the victim role. She is back to Kamadhenu. She is back to being Mata Sati. She is waiting there as Ma Sita, the Adi Shakti. She is thinking, how do I send him away? And she abuses, says that you are an adharmi, you are staying with your brother's wife when he is there. What is your intention? Are you the spy of Bharata? What is your true intention? Tell me. All this, Lakshmana being such a staunch dharmi, he is not able to bear that Mata Sita, the one whose face also he doesn't look up at, is talking all this to him. Why did she do that? Again, she is purposely doing that so that he moves away from there, because if Ravana had walked in while Lakshmana was standing there, Ravana's head would have got cut then itself, because Lakshmana is extremely powerful and Ramayana's core essence would be lost at that minute. So what does she do? She insults a very, very dharmic Lakshmana, insults and says all sort of things so that it triggers the anger within him and he leaves in search of Sri Rama with deep sorrow that she who he sees as none other than his own mother is talking all this about him. He's so sad. But he leaves. Therein, Mata Sita allows herself to be kidnapped in order for the greater message to come through. Just like Panchali could have destroyed everybody in the Mahabharata easily, Mata Sita, who is none other than Ma Kaali, her name is there in the Sahasranamavali of Ma Kaali, could have like this destroyed Ravana. Did she? She did not, because guidebook. Ramayana happened towards the end of the Treta Yuga because that is a guidebook for Dwapar Yuga's entire period. Sri Krishna came towards the end of Dwapar Yuga because the guidebook for Kali Yuga. So that has to happen. The dharma, the story of dharma and how the ideal man lives, Maryada Purushottama lives, that message has to be given. So she insults the most dharmic Lakshmana itself and sends him away so that Ravana could kidnap her. But she drops her pile. Why? Because Lakshmana has never even looked up at Mata Sita's face. He has only looked at her leg. So she knows that he is the one who will recognize the ghungru, the pile. That is why she drops it. She knows Lakshmana that well. She knows what will trigger him to leave the place so that she can be kidnapped. She also knows that he will find out which path to take. So I will drop the anklet. I think these are not by chance that Mata Sita as a victim does. She does it on purpose to beautifully play out Ramayana itself. She is the Adi Shakti. The 210th name of Ma Kaali in the Sahasranamavali is Mata Sita. Again playing the victim in order to bring the greatest powers to action, in order to make the Vishnu Tattva, that is Sri Rama, act and bring the glorious message of Ramayana. So who is the reason for the entire Ramayana to take place itself? If Adi Shakti does not plant herself as Mata Sita, and even the birth of Sita Mata itself is a rather curious one, wherein she is born out a lot of sorrows, and she's found sorrows of the entire village itself, entire Kula that got destroyed. Mata Sita's origin itself is again full of pain. You need to understand how Adi Shakti functions. She is there in every design, including in your own life. There are specific pain points where you will find yourself victimized in order for you to burst out. That's how she acts in every human being's life itself. So for Sri Rama itself, she was the victim in the form of Sita, who is none other than Kaali. In her Sahasranamavali, the name is there. Sita, Mata Sita. 210th name. 211th name, I believe, is Mata Sati. Victims. So powerful, but purposeful victims in order to Mata Sati in order to bring out the energy of Shiva. Mata Sita in order to bring out the energy of Sri Rama, Vishnu Tattva. Kamadhenu, the cow that can give any wishes, purposely with the father of another avatar of Mahavishnu in order to bring about his purpose, which is the destruction of the Kshatriyas who are now running amok and destroying Dharma. So you will find her placing herself everywhere. She plays it beautifully. We look at Mahavishnu only, but we forget to see that in every avatara of Mahavishnu or Mahadeva itself, Shiva itself, she has played her part very beautifully. She is the nimitta, she is the reason. Moving on. Because of Mata Sita, then we have Ramayana, successful completion of Sri Rama. Sri Rama's message to earth, preservation is done by Mahavishnu, and it is the tapasya of Mata Sita that enables and empowers the Ramanama itself. One Mr. Hemant Pandey had put up this beautiful post, and I happened to read it too while I was thinking or meditating on Mata Sita itself, that it is Mata Sita whose tapasya is within the Ramanama, which is why if you invoke the Ramanama, it is the highest form of invocation of Mahavishnu itself, because tapasya is of Mata Sita in it. She has done the tapasya on Ramanama herself, and thereby she is giving Diksha to all of you guys. When you do the Ramanama, why there is no need for Diksha is because the Diksha is already given by the Adi Shakti in the form of Mata Sita itself. So you are already Dikshits. Ramanama needs no Diksha because it is empowered by Adi Shakti, Mata Sita itself. The more you go deeper into Ma Kaali, you will realize that the whole script is her. It is her everywhere. Any cosmic event, you will never be able to remove Ma Kaali from it. She is everything. Now moving on, we have already gone through how Radha is Adi Shakti, wherein Narada does her parikrama when she was playing as a child, and how Sri Krishna did the sadhana of Adi Shakti, which is completely falling head over heels and running after Ma Radha in spite of thousands of gopiyas surrounding him. We have spoken about this. So what is one of the other names, what is the tatparya of this entire talk is that as you move in deeper into the sadhana of Bhairava and you move finally, if sadhana of Bhairava is incomplete without finally moving to one of the divine feminine forms, and it is in her nature to trigger certain events in your life which could be the biggest turning points in your Janma. She could be the Mata Sita to your Sri Rama. She could be the Radhama in order to give you the Panchali part, wherein you will go through pain because you have meant for something huge. She could be that poor cow who only wants to give you everything, but will lead to the greatest 21 times annihilation of the Kshatriya Vamsha itself. 21 times, all because first blood was that cow. First act was stealing of that cow. And what happened? She brought about complete decimation. So Adi Shakti's presence in your life will be marked by nimittas. You will find yourself in events which make no sense, but it all seems to be automatic, but there is no other go other than to go through the entire dharmic path, which is seen in the life of Sri Krishna, it is seen in the life of Sri Rama, it is also seen in the life of Parashurama, and it is seen in the life of Mahadeva itself, wherein it is the Adi Shakti who placed the victim, a nimitta is placed, and then she comes for the final conclusion also. So any time in the sadhana of Ma Kaali or any of the divine feminine forms, in Adi Shakti's whole Swarupa, Adi Shakti as an embodiment itself is Ma Kaali. You will find her design everywhere. Do not second guess. Don't think, why am I going through a suffering? It is caused for a reason. It could be a simple way wherein you burn your karmas. It could be a simple reason why you are supposed to create something extraordinary. It could be a reason why you are kept away from certain people or certain crowds. She will keep on playing the victim, keep on making you do things which would make no sense to you, but it is a design. She has done it in the life of Mahavishnu's avatars itself. She is the cause. She is Kamadhenu. She is Mata Sita. She is Radhama. She is Panchali. She is Mata Sati. There is another name of Ma Kaali that you need to understand. In order to make this case very strong, I will tell you that name. Mooladhara Nivasini, the one who resides within the root cause. Not just the Mooladhara Chakra alone. She is also the one who resides in the root cause of anything and everything that happens in your life. Any event, anything that causes pain, anything that seems to be an irritation and you wonder why it is happening, in the Mooladhara of that, she is there. It is her name. Mooladhara Nivasini is the name of Ma Kaali. So why do you have that father? There is a reason. Why was Mata Sita the wife of Sri Rama? There is a reason. Why did Sri Krishna run after Radhama? There is a reason. Why do you have a terrible boss? There is a reason. There are some things that you are supposed and meant to get comfortable with. Some things you are meant to go through pain so that you come out in a different way. You come out as a different person. You are meant to burn. The more you go to her, she will plant nimittas in such a way that you are purposely out of nowhere you find yourself in a new place, making new enemies. Why? So that you bind them in your karma, so that they get destroyed. This has happened in my life. These are not all that I told you. These are the historic events of our universe. All the Vishnu avatars and all, right from Mata Sati, wherein he sends a Sudarshan Chakra to cut her corpse into the Shakti Pidhas till Kamadhenu the cow. Then comes Mata Sita. Then comes Radhama, Panchali. You need to understand, in my own life, I have found myself forced to spend time with people who are adharmis. And then I have seen the destruction. There have been times when I have brought to such pain points where I do not have the habit of licking feet. I do not have the habit of buttering up people. No matter how famous or how powerful, I do not have the ability to do that, because all the buttering up and all happens here only. Even here I fight. Then what will I do with humans? when the design is set in such a way that that pain point, when the sadhaka feels the pain point, also she uses that as a nimittha to come out with unbelievable power, and you will see them get destroyed right in front of your eyes. Like this, I've seen people get decimated. I've seen people come in front of me and utter words which they do not know why they themselves uttered, so that their inner thoughts are revealed. When you find pain happening, do not be non-reactive. Surrender it to the Adi Shakti. There is a reason. Everything is a nimitta. Stop trying to second guess every part of your life. Understand that she is the reason why there is pain. There is some things that you are meant to do. You do it and you go. Attain your glory. Get spoken of for 1,000 years. Even for the avatars of Sri Mahavishnu itself. She was a pain point, a victim in their stories that triggers their greatest values. So when you find that there is pain points and you're in the path of sadhana, those are your trigger points for outbreak. As you go higher and higher, the more you understand all this about Ma Kaali, you will realize that nothing in your life is happening by chance. Especially in the sadhana of Ma Kaali, she is not a latent energy. She doesn't just sit, she moves, she flies, she causes. She's always causing something and destroying. She will pull you into something where you never wanted to go, but now that you're inside, you fight and then you win. Are you do. That is how she is. You do so that I can make you win. Okay, you have noticed there is a saying, there will be lakhs of Mahishasuras and there will be lakhs and lakhs of Ma Kaalis. Every sadhaka is Ma Kaali. And every asura who is only thinking about materialistic wealth and how to pull somebody else down so that he grows in life is a Mahishasura. As you go in the path of Ma Kaali, you need to realize that there will be times when you will simply suffer so that you destroy adharma. This is going to happen in all of our lives. That is why Vairagya is very important. There is also a hack wherein you need to understand that you do not physically react to all this. You need to spiritually start reacting to external stimuli. That's a small hack that I will tell people, that many of you have been texting me about how to handle terrible relationships and all that. You need to have a 10 times you need to wait and be non-reactive. 10 times. This is a way wherein you submit the pain point to your Ishta. At the same time, you are also rewiring your brain to be non-reactive so that you do not incur any karma. It will be painful at that moment, but you have to purposely stop it and be non-reactive. Surrender it to your Ishta and be non-reactive. Vairagya, this is one of the best and most important steps that you need to do. So when you have a terrible father who's just continuously poking you, or a terrible mother who's continuously poking you, be non-reactive. It is painful. Do you think that it would not have taken a lot of time for Mata Sita to destroy Ravana because she's Adi Shakti, she's Ma Kaali? Do you know the power of Ma Kaali? There's nothing above her. She stands on the chest of Mahadeva. Mahakala Bhairava she stands. You think she can't destroy Ravana? There is pain that causes you to get broken because there is something bigger that needs to come out of it. There is a reason why we are born into certain specific designs, because you also, every sadhaka also will be used for dharma karya. You will also be Sri Rama, you will also be Sri Krishna, you will also be Parashurama. You cannot escape it. If you invoke Ma Kaali, if you invoke Bhairava, at least if you invoke only Bhairava, you might not move around a lot because he's majorly that energy ball. But if you invoke Bhairava, Ma Kaali will come. And if you invoke Ma Kaali, she will specifically create nimittas wherein you are exposed to adharma, where you will destroy it, either by yourself or by the yogastha buddhi that Sri Krishna gives you, and you will plan the destruction of the adharmis. This has happened in my life many times. I've seen people, I will never surrender humans or anything to do with humans to her. I have never done that. But how long? There was an event wherein my entire existence was being threatened. There was somebody sitting opposite to me and threatening my existence itself with a very, very ulterior motive. And you wouldn't believe, as I was listening to it, I was non-reactive. And then I just closed my eyes and I invoked MAA Kaali. I literally invoked MAA Kaali. And I thought that this is an adharmi sitting in front of me. He's doing this to me. You need to destroy him. And in 24 hours, there were 3 cases against this guy. He was not even able to think about me. He got destroyed. And he ran out of the country. The day he landed in that country faced the highest, biggest flood in the history of that country itself. And from the airport also, he was not able to walk out. That is MAA Kaali. But when you abuse your spiritual powers, when you abuse your specific position that you enjoy with a deity, there is Sanishwara who will take an account. The planet for MAA Kaali is Sanishwara. I had the worst next 30 days. Every day the traffic was longer. Every day something will simply go wrong. Simple lot of physical effort. Some small irritation or the other for the next 30 days continuously. So I knew that something I had wished for had caused a destruction, and for that we have to pay. This is why I say, the more you move higher in the path of spirituality, do not get destructive on the people. Sri Rama also suffered. He also went through the process of after the destruction of Ravana. Adharma, even if destroyed by dharma, there is certain things that you need to do, which is why do not specifically seek out enemies. Do not specifically seek out things. If you are meant to destroy something, she will put very clear messages in such a way that you will not be able to move. You will only look at that person. Your head is stuck there and you are continuously looking at that person, and you will destroy that person by invoking her. Of course, you have to suffer after that. Everybody did. Bhairava walked around with the Kapala, Brahma Kapala. He gave a message. Even if for destruction of adharma, you take the dharmic path also, you will atone. That is why you do not incur that karma. You immediately atone for it. She will do it. Be non-reactive to the best of your abilities. 10 times when you are facing a terrible situation in life, be it at work, be it with your relationships, 10 times be non-reactive. You will notice by the 11th time that person has no impact on you. Be non-reactive. Think of somebody, think of your guru, think of your Ishta, and just close your eyes. I remember what he said. I am going to be non-reactive. Walk with a smile, walk away. Try this. 10 times. You will rewire your functioning. But there will come a time when you are not able to move anymore. You are looking at the person. Whatever you do, that person chases after you. Then you realize he is your Ravana. Then you realize he is the Kshatriya Kula that Parashurama faced. Then you might be dharmically bound to invoke the deities and destroy. Until then, do not assume that the people around you are all adharmis. There's battle of karma, right? Walk around without invoking it. 10 times be non-reactive. 11th time you won't feel like reacting. You are now a stone to that person. Smile and walk away. Nothing will have an impact. You will be always at a state of bliss. You will be floating. That is how I am. As people scream, I am also very much burning my karma and like walking around, right? There are times in my life when people go mad around me and scream, because they don't know what they're doing. They are exposing their karma and burning more and more. In front of me, they are just revealing their inner thoughts. They don't know why it is happening to them. It is all the kripa of MAA Kaali. That is how she functions. Nobody will be able to act in front of the sadhaka of MAA Kaali. She's bare. Bhairava also does this. You will find that people come in front of you, they will display the core characters. And you are just so calm. They will reveal their inner secrets while talking to you. They will themselves will not know why did I tell this guy this as my internal deepest secret. But they will reveal it. All this will happen to you as you move in the sadhana of MAA Kaali. Become a stone. You will understand that her siddhis as they come, they are so powerful. Every minute you are a walking, breathing amsha of dharma itself. And when there is a time when you find adharma, you try to move away, it still chases you. Try to move away, still chases you. Try to move away, still chases you. 10 times. Sit down. Close your eyes for a minute. Invoke her. Now, this is an adharmi. I think he should be destroyed. And then smile and walk away. The person that I did that to, He has no clue. After that, like a mad person, he would call all the mutual friends and all, and he will start continuously praising me. I think I did wrong to this guy because my thoughts were all over his head. He doesn't know what has happened. He's praising me everywhere. So there is no happiness out of this, nothing that I want. I was feeling very guilty that is it an abuse of that little bit of progress that we have in spirituality? Did we abuse that power? Did I make a selfish use out of it? That was my thought. Which is why I say, when you find small fights or small unavoidable relationships coming and standing in front of your face, do not invoke your deity directly. Just surrender it casually. Do not invoke them for the destruction of that person. Some people that I was guiding have done this. And they've told me also that, see, I started the sadhana with the mantra that you gave. It was going so well that my enemies got destroyed. Then I immediately asked them, did you specifically wish for it? They said no. But after that, some accidents happened immediately. Some accidents happened where they bled. They were bleeding. So in the sadhana of MAA Kaali, in the sadhana of Bhairava, do not specifically go around wishing bad on people. Learn to ignore 10 times. The 11th time also, if it is chasing you, then it might be meant for you. It might be a Ravana. It might be a Ravana. Then you invoke. Not physically. There is no need for you to be physical anymore. Kali Yuga hai. Sri Krishna came with the flute. He didn't come with the bow like Sri Rama. He came with the flute. Everything is verbal, and by typing, all the fights are happening on social media only. Everybody is typing. No need to be physical. Live pious. Have clean thoughts. When it is your time that you have to destroy, she will tell you it is time, and you will not be able to look at anything else. You will find that person, you will surrender that person and destroy them. And you will suffer. I did. Anytime I have wished bad on somebody who I judge as an adharmi, I have also had 30 days of struggle after that, because I am paying for that. It is abuse of spiritual progress. It is abuse of spiritual progress. This is why I tell you, there are many people who take mantras from me and then they come and tell me my enemies got destroyed. Put in 10-15 years before you even want to destroy people. If by design you're not able to, your eyes are not able to move, if they come and take away your very loving person, they're hurting a very loving person like Sri Rama and Mata Sita, then there is no other goal. That means that the deity itself is asking you to focus on him. Laksha Mahishasura and Laksha Kaali. There will be lakhs and lakhs of Mahishasura, there will be lakhs and lakhs of Kaali. That might be a Mahishasura, you will surrender to Mata Kaali and destroy it, not physically. No need to react physically, even to that person who I destroyed. That person has no clue it is me. He still will very happily talk about me. In fact, now he talks more about me, praising me all the time. He has no clue. I'll always sit at him and think, you do not even know what happened to you. Such a child you are, like a fool. A little bit of power life gave you and placed you in a power position, and you started abusing it, like what Parashurama did. Why? Now you see you got destroyed. And it is also when physically you have not reacted, but spiritually you are destroying an adharmi, you will also find that person will fall in love with you and will start praising you everywhere. That is like, it is the funniest part. You know why? Because she has blinded him towards you. He will never know you did it. So understand the message of Sri Krishna. Everything today is on typing. Do not sit and get down and fight. Do not get physical. When you feel the urge to react physically to somebody, deep breath, hold that, smile, walk away. Surrender that thought to MAA Kaali. I don't know what it was. Surrender to Bhairava, whoever is Ishta. I don't know what it was. I think I am being non-reactive. Some karmic event because of which he is coming like that against me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times I have done this and still coming against me. I think there's something wrong. Sit down and surrender his thought and invoke her to destroy the adharmi. Do not get down and fight. Waste of time. Our life here in Kali Yuga is not meant to sit down and fight physically. Don't waste your time. Anybody who has ever caused me pain and I can see their destruction happening, neither do I take pleasure in that. There is absolutely no pleasure. See, you did this to me. Now you can, that state of vairagya will come to you. That is when you will be able to destroy adharmis without even thinking, putting effort into it. I see, sometimes I feel pity on people. I know for a fact that this person is purposely doing something, he will get destroyed. I feel pity, or he will not even know how painful it is going to be in next 30-40 days for him. And it happens. In the path of sadhana, when you find adharmis roaming around you, ignore, surrender to the deities. Finally, if it doesn't work, invoke. Ignore 10 times. It doesn't work, 11th time, invoke. 10 times if you are able to be sure that you have ignored and tried to pass away, but like Mata Sita, then it is a nimittha. It is a nimittha that you are facing a Mahishasura and the Kaali within you has to destroy. Not physically, not verbally. Smile and walk away, sit down and invoke. Understand how to use your spiritual powers right. Just because you want a promotion and somebody else got it, don't sit down and pray against that person. That person, the adhikara for revenge should be earned. The adhikara of revenge should be earned. Do not abuse your spiritual powers to simply elicit revenge so that you become powerful and powerful. You will go down and down and down. I will never, simply because somebody causes hurt to me, I usually even scold them and walk off. Physical to physical reaction negates karma. Somebody physically hits you, hit back, karma negated at that point. Somebody hits you, you do not hit back. That person has incurred the karma. You have the adhikara to invoke for revenge. Of course, hitting back gives more pleasure instantly. But I assure you, watching absolute destruction of the other person gives you confidence in your spiritual strengths. You are all surrounded by very, very painful events kept there for a reason. If one of that is a Mahishasura and not just your karma, you will have to destroy it by invoking the deities, but not as a revenge or pleasure-seeking adventure. Stay aside, be non-reactive 10 times. 10 times don't react to your father, mother, sister, brother, boss, neighbor. 10 times. Beyond that, it is an adharmi. Submit it to your deity. This is the best way for you to stay in peace. Do not continuously keep on surrendering people to the deities and asking them for revenge. All this will destroy your spiritual progress. It is like walking on the edge of a blade. That is how spirituality is. You should know when to use your powers. You should know when to not even think of the other person. When you're sitting down for prayers, surrender all your thoughts, but do not pray for revenge. Unless it is very clear that this person is out to destroy. Then yes, nothing wrong in that. So I think today we have understood the Mooladhara Nivasini. In every root cause of a major change, Mooladhara Nivasini is the name of Ma Kaali. She is there. She has purposely placed those designs there so that you, in the path of Dharma, will become the Sri Rama and destroy the Ravana. You will become the Mahishasura Mardini. There is a reason, but don't jump and start taking revenge on every small thing that happens to you. You will lose your spiritual progress very fast. You will find yourself unable to sit. You will find yourself when you close your eyes, 10-15 thoughts come rushing to you and you're not able to take away the permission of your mind to give those thoughts. You should be able to attain that state of zero. Till then, don't sit and seek revenge. You suffered a little, let that be in the background. That is fine. It is okay. It is okay if some of your sufferings are there in the background. Don't sit and actively seek revenge. It's okay. Help me with my life. That's all. Small wishes. Oneness with the deity is your ultimate goal. When there is a situation where there is no other go but you have to destroy adharma, submit it to the deities and move on. Move on. Don't get into revenge mode with everybody. She will create the nimittas so that you have no other go but to invoke and destroy. This is a real fact. Laksha Mahishasura and Laksha Kaali. For every Mahishasura that is born, one sadhaka will be there. Or for Laksha Mahishasura, one sadhaka is also sufficient. In your life, she'll continuously throw you into... in my life, I have noticed that I am continuously thrown at nimittas. Wherever I go, there will be somebody who, no matter how much I ignore, they'll keep on coming. I run away from there also, they'll keep on coming. They'll try to finally, if I ignore, completely refuse to fight back, they'll keep a knife here. And then what else can you do? Will you die without reacting at all? That is when you surrender and invoke or elicit all these revenge related thoughts. Otherwise, don't get into all that. Understand that these are all tests. How you handle your karma. Do you try to seek revenge every time a karmic event opens up to you? Don't. 10 times be a rock. 10 times be a rock. Rock, absolute stone like the Shiva linga. Doesn't move. Be unmoving. 11th time, yes. The design is clear, the nimitta has been placed. Now I invoke the greatest Shakti. Amma, destroy this person. There's something really wrong with him. He's an adharmi. If he is able to do this in spite of 10 times me ignoring that person, then he's an adharmi, and to how many more people he would have done this? He needs to be destroyed. That gives you the adhikara. Earn the adhikara for revenge also. 11th time is the adhikara. Until then, don't react. Become a stone. Until then, it could just be a small karmas burning off. 11th time also it happens, it is nimitta. She has placed the design there for his destruction. Destroyed. Dharma has to be protected at all costs. And as you go, especially in deities like Kaali, they will make you work. They will make Sri Rama run after Mata Sita. They will become the cow of Parashurama itself so that he can do his dharma. The nimitta. She is the one who will place those specific designs that cannot be ignored. If you find that the design cannot be ignored in spite of all the attempts, then you have to shoot the spiritual arrow. Until then, no revenge. Until then, no ill thoughts. It is all a test. When it can no longer be ignored, it is beginning to threaten dharma itself, you will surrender and you will invoke the greatest Shaktis. This is the secret to attaining higher spiritual powers. If you walk around, I am invoking Ma Kaali, I can do whatever I want, she will not come to you because you are weak. Retain. She is the nimitta. Learn to read the nimittas. When you find the nimittas, spiritual arrows have to be shot. Don't start trying to shoot it at everybody. 10 times you begin to try to be the good guy. 11th time, it's definitely an adharmi. This I am talking about people who are like us. Of course, for Sri Rama, one time only. Because that was the design of the play itself, because it's Mahavishnu and Ma Kaali, Mata Sita. That is the design itself. So there is no 10 times Ravana will come to kidnap. No. First time itself, his purpose of birth itself was that. To give that message. So it happened. But whereas for you and me, who are living life daily, 10 times, no matter how much your spouse irritates you, 10 times. 11th time, most likely this is what will happen. You will find that it doesn't affect you anymore. You have attained vairagya towards that cause. Try this. Almost everybody who's texting me is in some kind of a pain due to a stimulus that is eating away their peace of mind. 10 times. Try to be non-reactive. It will change. 11th time, then you think, there's something here, I believe, something I have to do. Then you react. React with the yogastha buddhi. For 3 years in your sadhana, be non-reactive is my best advice to you. Because most likely you will not be unless you are a very, very advanced sadhaka, you will not be the cause for bringing a major fight or destroying adharmis and all that, because you need to first bring the strength inside. It could take a minimum of 3 years, and I would say sometimes even 10 to 12 years before you have the strength to destroy adharmis purely by spiritual powers. So don't rush with negative feelings towards people. It will break your own sadhana. I think this is probably one of the longest videos I've put yet. Ground yourself. Be strong. Be non-reactive. Only when the nimitta is set in such a way that you have to destroy an adharmi, destroy. Until then, be non-reactive. Do sadhana, focus on the deity. Learn to come to zero state. Somebody is talking crap. Even then, come to the zero state. It is the Kali Yuga. There is no fighting with weapons. It is all words and typing. Come to the zero state. Nothing affects you. Bhairava Kalike namostute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo Namah. Om Namo Bhairavaya Swaha. Jai Ma Kaali.